penultimate contestant, speaker for tonight, Simon Cookson. So Simon has come along. He's been a previous speaker at Agile Yorkshire. I've done some work with Simon. He's a fantastic guy. I'm going to read out his bio so that everybody knows exactly where he comes from. So he's the co-founder of Northern Value Creators, where he helps technical and professional teams unlock their leadership potential. Simon transformed from an introverted people pleaser into a confident leadership coach, empowering professionals to lead effectively and navigate complex conversations to thrive in their roles. And I'm going to hand over to him now with his talk, How Not to Fall Out Over Christmas. Please give Simon a fantastic round of applause.
Thank you, everybody. As Royd said there, my day job's all about conversations and essentially making people like you be as comfortable managing people as you are with technical challenges. And the way that I do that is twofold. One, help you understand humans, and second, help you rewire conversations using that understanding that you've gained about yourself and others. Now, I usually do that because that's really helpful around the meeting room table or the boardroom or in your one-to-one. But tonight, I'm going to talk about the Christmas dinner table and that honest admission that Christmas can be stressful. Okay, so it's the most wonderful time of the year, Christmas. Yes, obviously, it says it in a song. Okay, but it can be stressful. And as an example, I want to talk about my old mum. Not with us anymore, and she leaves a big hole at Christmas time. But my mum loved Christmas, absolutely loved it. She kept Christmas well, as the Ghost of Christmas Present would say. She was a great cook, did great food. But oh my God, Christmas was so stressful with Mum because there was loads of food that you were not allowed to eat. There was food that you were only allowed to eat at certain times on certain days. And if you ate too much, you got the look. What are you doing eating all of that? You've got to watch your weight, you're putting a bit of weight on. And finally, at the end of the Christmas holidays, you were about to go home, we got the call. It was always like, oh, she would open the fridge. Look at all this food. It's going to go to waste. So you bought too much. You were not allowed to eat it. You were eating too much. You were wasting it. And that made Christmas stressful. Okay? And I don't think that kind of story is unique. I bet we've all got stories about time when Christmas was stressful. Okay? Which brings me on to my first kind of tip. Let's admit that Christmas can be stressful. Be honest with yourself. If you trapped around the table with this lot, and I got this using our handy AI tools these days, and I got the picture up and I thought, oh my goodness me, look at that lot. Absolutely terrifying. But I thought it kind of worked with my theme that Christmas can be stressful. These are just the scariest images I think I've ever seen. But if you feel at any point over Christmas that you're stressed and you're in a stressful situation, just be honest about that and admit that to yourself. Because denying it and feeling shame about your feelings that you're not having the best time ever will just make you react really badly and put you in a shame spiral and not allow you to cope with other people's behaviour. Because when we're in a stressful situation, it does funny things to our head, does funny things to our brain, which impacts how we think and impacts what we say, all right? So we're just going to look very quickly at a model of the brain. So I'd like everybody to put their fist up like this, because this is a little map of the brain. We've got the brain stem here, which is all of those automatic functions like breathing. So I don't need to think about, oh God, have I breathed in the last 2 minutes? No, it's all doing this in your brain stem. You've then, here, got your limbic system, okay? This is your memories and your habits, the things you do as a habit. You've got this little bit here, the amygdala. This is where your fight and flight and stress response comes from. And then if we close our hands, we've got the cortex here, which is self-control. And the really interesting bit, see your fingernails? Yeah, fingernails right at the front. That is your prefrontal cortex, PFC, easier to say. This is where all your creativity and problem solving and higher brain functions come in. But what happens when we are stressed is this. We flip our lid, okay? And this is an idea and a model that comes from a guy called Dr. Dan Siegel. And when we flip our lid, if we notice, this part of our brain is exposed. So our habits, our habitual responses, and what's not in play is our PFC, the prefrontal cortex. So when we are flipped, we don't think very well. Studies show we drop 13 IQ points. We literally get more stupid. And that's because if you see a lion in the bushes over there about to eat you, you don't want to be looking at that lion, you just want to get out of here. So what I want to share is 5 survival strategies that we use in order to feel safer when we feel stressed. So when we're in a flipped state, we tend to use one of 5 strategies. And this is work by Dr. Tara Halliday, who's done a lot of work in survival strategies, imposter syndrome, that kind of thing. So what we're trying to do is when we feel stressed, we want to keep ourselves safe. We want to keep in our comfort zone. And because we're flipped, we use the limbic system, which is our habits. So these are things that are habits. They're almost unconscious ways of behaving. So you will see over Christmas in yourself and the people sat around the dinner table, these strategies. So let's have a look at them. Okay, strategy 1 is about seeking approval. Basically because the person that follows this strategy really deep down doesn't feel worthy, so they're constantly asking for praise. Is this all right? Is that all right? How's the food? Is it okay? Is it cooked okay? They need that praise, and they're really, really caught up on doing the right thing, making everything perfect. Okay? And that's exhausting for them. So if you get somebody that's always, I need to do the right thing all the time. Is it okay? Is it, this is what they're doing. It's their survival strategy because they want to seek praise. Next one's one of the most hardest to deal with because it's the one that looks least like stress. And this is power and control, dominance and strength. And all the outward signs of this person are all about shouting, bullying, you're arguing about politics over the dinner table. This is the person that's raising their voice. But they're doing it because it's their survival strategy. Okay? The next strategy, number 3, is distraction. So what you might find over Christmas is there's somebody that just drinks a little bit too much and ends up falling asleep. Maybe leaves, or busy, or I've just got a book for Christmas, so I'm going to sit in the corner and not talk to anybody and read my book. And that's because they want to distract themselves from the feeling. They want to numb themselves. A lot of substance abuse in this survival strategy, which you can see at Christmas with overindulgent, eating too much, drinking too much. And that's because they just want to escape. The other one, and this is my mum, is that I want to make everything safe. I want to control everything. I want to put routines into everything. Every minute of every day of Christmas, at 10 o'clock we do this, at 11 o'clock we do this. And if you're not following the plan, it's really difficult because they want to feel safe by controlling the environment. And if I can control everything, it will be okay. And finally, create drama. Look at me, melodramatic, everything's going wrong, everything's dramatic, everything's chaotic. And that's because they crave attention and want that attention because they want to feel that they matter, that they're in the spotlight. Then I need to get attention from people because I don't feel I matter. ultimately. And that's the strategy. So, I want to end things that if we agree that Christmas can be stressful, let's admit it to ourselves, not just deny it and let's not feel shame. And if we can admit that Christmas is stressful, be aware that other people will feel stressed too. And if other people are feeling stressed, they will follow these 5 strategies. So you're not sharing your dinner table with a bully or a control freak or a drama queen or a drunkard. You know, think of the words of Tiny Tim from the Christmas Carol and just sat round the table are just fellow humans who, just like you, are feeling a bit scared and are trying to feel safer. Thank you.